5 things that are ruining ham radio. This time on K6UDA radio. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I hope you're enjoying all the new stuff that I'm trying, new camera angles and things, just to make the show more interesting, to make it more entertaining for you.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
So if this show is helpful to you, if you are entertained by this, if you think these videos are cool, give it the thumbs up, please, because that does give me a big boost here on YouTube, and it gets it out with the new YouTube algorithms. It gets it out to many more hams and potential hams. And Lord knows we need more people in this hobby to keep it alive. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button right now. It is right down here somewhere. Hit the little bell notification. That way you will get notified when I put out a new video. Guys, today we are going to talk about 5 things that some hams think are ruining ham radio. There's a lot of guys out there that say talking on these new digital modes is not real ham radio. You're not using ham radio. You might as well be using the cell phone. To you guys, all I have to say is, see, I'm sitting here in my Jeep. This is my repeater right here, the open spot, with a little battery pack. This is my internet gateway. So I have a repeater connected to the internet via a gateway, and I am working the world on my FTM 400 right now. How do you like that? Look at that. Texas. There's Texas, my friends. So here I am. I'm able to talk to these guys all over the world. If that isn't the spirit of ham radio, is being able to make all these connections, I don't know what is. You see, I equate ham radio to a box of tools. I wouldn't use one of these tools to try to turn a screw, much like these tools aren't hammers. But yet, some of you guys have the firm belief that this should be the only tool in your tool chest. In my opinion, FT8 is the most misunderstood mode on HF today. So why do so many guys hate FT8? Let's ask Alexa. Alexa, tell me about FT8.
Seriously. Now I'm one of your finger snap girls. FT8 is an evil plot to destroy ham radio.
I honestly don't get why people are so up in arms about a new operating mode, a new digital operating mode. I mean, it doesn't use the internet, you're using HF, and it keeps guys on the bands when they otherwise would park the radios.
I'd rather watch paint dry. Why do you treat me like this? Aren't I pretty enough for you? Are you some kind of a freaking moron?
You see, FT8 was not invented to be a rag chew kind of a mode. This is extremely weak propagation stuff. It's made for the bands, well, like they are today. Very unpredictable. Sometimes they're in, sometimes they're out. I know guys from back east are making a lot more contacts than some of the guys out here. I know my antennas are kind of deaf. So FT8 keeps me on the bands.
I don't care if it's for weak propagation. It's not a real QSO. And people like you aren't making it any better. Hundreds of hams have worked years to get D, X, C, C. And now you want to do it in a day.
The fact that it is an actual contact with another ham does make it eligible for LOTW credit as a contact, as a verified contact. And yes, because it's a verified contact, it's also eligible for DXCC credit.
If you want to work weak propagation, learn C, W, like the rest of us. And then you won't be trying to learn your D, X, C, C award in one day, when it took most hams years and years of hard work. I'm really uncomfortable with this pose.
I enjoy FT8. It lets me make contacts with countries that I would never be able to make a contact with on sideband or CW, given the conditions, or really, for that matter, anytime. Oh, and one more thing. Alexa, can you play Baby It's Cold Outside?
What the f? It's cold in here and my ass is hanging out. Is there anything else I can do for you, or can I now have my dignity back?
Next up on the list, Millennials.
How's it going, everybody? This is Josh, K6UDA, also known as Hoss Nossi. Bob asked me to answer the question, how are millennials killing ham radio? I've got one example for him. A millennial is basically somebody that reached adulthood in somewhere between the year 2000 and 2010. I myself qualify as an elder millennial because I reached adulthood, turned 18, in the year 2000. Millennials remember what the world was before the internet, and now looking backwards with all we have today, we never want to be without the internet again. Hence, the millennial ham radio operator. Hey, how's it going? Did you hear the last ham radio store is closing in Minnesota? Yeah, that's a bummer. You don't care about that? No, last store, Minnesota, no more ham radio stores. I mean, why would I? Why, just buy online. It's so easy. But I mean, don't you like going hands-on with the radio? Don't you like talking to people? I mean, why? Stores are so expensive now. I mean, we've got the internet, we've got reviews like, you know, K6UDA and Hoss Nossi. Hey, what do you got there today? Oh, you know, it's my new DMR HT. It's like a regular HT, but when you talk to the repeater, it talks to the internet digitally. I can talk around the world with this thing. It's amazing. Hey, I didn't tell you, last night I worked somebody on 40 meters on CW. He lives in South Dakota. I can finally cross that off my work all states. Now I just need North Dakota. Yeah, that's nice. The bands suck right now. They totally suck. You can't do anything. 10 meters, 6 meters. 20 isn't even worth getting out of bed these days. Call me in about 5 years. Oh, whoa, cool. What do you got on the bench today? Oh, yeah. I just finished putting in a case. It's my new DMR hotspot. Really, really cool. Really excited to have this. That's nice. It looks like a tiny Wi-Fi router, right? No, man. It's so much better than that. Remember, you know, my DMR that I was talking about? Well, I had to go all the way, 40 miles away, to connect to that repeater to get to the internet. Now, with this, I can connect across my office and I can get to the internet and talk to people around the world. So you basically use that small device to render all the RF moot. You don't have to go to the repeater or anything. You just go across the room? 10 feet, man. 10 feet, okay? 10 feet. Okay, so let me understand. You got the hotspot, but you still have your DMR configured for all the repeaters in the area, you know, in case something happens, right? So you can talk to people, local comms, simplex, whatever? No way, man. I leave this just programmed to my hotspot. I take this with me everywhere. This uses tethering to my cell phone, and I just access Brandmeister if I need anything else. So, what do you do if the internet goes down? The what goes where now? So don't panic, guys, this is just a little fun for every millennial out there that loves the internet and loves ham radio, Internet of Things. There's an OM and a soon-to-be OM that loves it too. So anyway, just having some fun. Thanks a lot, K6UDA, for letting me do this. If you're such an internet ham, then why do you have that kit you're building on your desk? Man, don't pin that on me. We share a desk. This is your junk. Ain't nobody got time for QRP.
So let's just assume for a minute that you got yourself your original ham radio ticket prior to 1984. Well, then you remember sitting in the sweaty little FCC office, feverishly copying 5 words a minute or 15 words a minute in order to get your ham license, and that's where you come from. Now in 1984, the FCC did away with the Morse code requirement, mainly because very few people were using it, and all you old timers were starting to die off. And really, if they didn't do something, the whole hobby was just going to die off anyway, and they would have sold off our spectrum. Don't make me throw the penalty flag once again. It's gonna be okay. Trust me. It's now been, 15 years since they've dropped the code requirement, and all hell hasn't broken loose. Ham radio has not become CB. It's been 15 years and we're still following the rules. Now I suspect that you old timers that keep saying you're not a real ham unless you could do CW, well, you're just jealous because I was able to go in and get my ham radio license just by studying the rules and regulations and not having to go through the same hell you went through. I suspect that most of you don't remember how to do Morse code anyway. Ha! Cheap Chinese radios, take 4.
And you thought we were going to get this right on the first shot.
These things have come a long way in the last few years, and the biggest benefit that I see to the ham community with these radios is the fact that they have spurred competition amongst all the manufacturers, not just other Chinese manufacturers, but I mean, like Kenwood, Yaesu, ICOM, they've all got to kind of keep this in the back of their mind when they're designing this. Otherwise, this D74 would probably be $1,000.
Probably, and I'll give you that. But what needs to everybody remember, that's what's really ruining ham radio with those, is the fact that nobody remembers they don't sound good. You don't sound as good as you do on a Yaesu. It doesn't have the power, doesn't have the reliability. And that's how the cheap Chinese radios are ruining it. I've left Baofengs in the field. I've done all sorts of stuff with them. But I don't leave these out there.
The other thing that I do like about the cheaper Chinese stuff on the market is the fact that it gives every new ham an opportunity to go out and buy a radio without investing a ton of money. And after they learn about it, then they might step up to a real radio. I think the technology is picked up to the point where these things sound okay, not great, but they sound okay at close range.
At close range, they sound okay, but if you want to get any farther out, you got to go with something better and stop ruining ham radio with those. Now, I say we open one up and look at the insides.
Okay, let's do it.
Right there, Bob. Right there. That's what makes the noise.
This may not be the certified Baofeng method of disassembly, but it sure did work. And 4 whacks with a hammer.
I'm fairly impressed.
Me too.
All right, guys, that's all I got. That's it for me this time. I hope you really enjoyed this video. This one was just fun for you and me. I had a great time doing it. I want to thank Josh Hoshnasi, and I want to thank my buddy Ty for playing along with me. Oh yeah, I also need to thank Barbie and Alexa. You gals were awesome. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next time. I'm Bob, K6UDA, and I'm out of here. 7-3.